What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live. The audio kind of crapped out for me right at the end of that there. I don't know if it did the same for you or not.
No.
Okay.
How do I sound?
Must have just been me. Oh, you sound fine. It was like the intro itself, the last like
Kind of
2
gurgled
seconds.
out.
I didn't hear shit, but I think we're okay. It's just another case of the Mondays. The intro's got a case of the Mondays too. So many such cases. How you doing, Jay? You got your coffee?
Yeah, I had 2 late night stream. Jeremy has decided to play Fortnite again. He's dragged me along the ride. So was up late last night and the night before, just playing Fortnite.
That'll be like a 3-week stretch, huh?
Yeah, I'm assuming maybe 2. And then he'll just call it and go back to doing something else. I'm not sure. But I had a good time. Fortnite has gone straight Star Wars. And I do like the fact that they have a lot of like older things in there that you could visit and characters and stuff like that, and the sound effects. And actually, the John Williams music in Fortnite is not getting copy claimed on YouTube for some reason.
Is it just like a little bit of an edit of it, or is it straight up John Williams music?
It's got to be a little different, right? But it just, you hear it and it sounds the same. So, but they play it a lot. Like they play it a lot in the film. So, or in the game, excuse me, in the film.
You play as Rey?
I play as Palpatine.
Okay. You shoot lightning and shit, or what?
Yeah, he shoots lightning. He also can find his lightsaber. And when he finds his lightsaber, he shoots lightning with his blade. So that was really neat. It was different, but it was really neat.
Well, there you go. That's fun.
I know May the 4th is your favorite Star Wars day. You know that everybody celebrates. You love that May the 4th day. So I'm sure that got you up and moving for Sunday. Disney celebrated May the 4th with a cute little video that I want to share with you that I'm sure that's just going to make your day happy. On May the 4th, they have the Disney parks. They go all out with brand new types of merchandise, sipper cups, and popcorn buckets. Look at that production value, man. Great. That's it. That's about it. So you get a Jawa sipper, a popcorn bucket Death Star, and which for some reason I thought I had it pulled up, but I didn't. They are now selling, Ryan, for your home collection, a coaxium sipper. So you can get a coaxium sipper from your favorite Solo the Star Wars movie and have it filled with your favorite beverage. So there you go. I thought I had the link pulled up. Obviously, it's not that popular. They might have taken it down, if all I know. So I don't know. I don't even know if half the people even know what coaxium is and the little containers that you can get.
Not a lot of people actually watch Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Is that the only place that ever appears? The coaxium?
That's probably the only place anyone would know of it from. You know what I mean? I think that I don't know. Nobody watched that fucking movie. Would that make like $400 million at the box office or something?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but
I think it's like just under 400.
That's what they're saying. I swear I had the link, man, and for some reason it it doesn't look like anything. It just looks like, oh, here it is. I apologize to it's another case of the Mondays for me. I had it misplaced. And of course the link is not getting pulled up. It's in the circle of death. What a day to start. I mean, this is my life right now. Look, I can't even share the screen because it won't show.
Congratulations. Yeah, Solo: A Star Wars Story, $393
Sorry, everybody.
million. $393 million at the worldwide box office. So, yeah, I was pretty close there. Maybe that's where Thunderbolts ends up when it's all said and done. I don't know. Yeah, May the 4th was yesterday. And look,
Sorry about that.
Anytime anybody wants to share their love for Star Wars, there it is, the coaxium sipper.
How great is that?
Looks amazing. Can you just put shots in it? Would that make Disney World more tolerable if I just walk around drunk as shit?
So, apparently, and since I screwed up this whole opening segment, we'll just keep it quick. Apparently, you fill it with blue or green milk. And that's it. It's $25, includes blue milk or green milk at the time of purchase. I don't know why it's so blown up, but there you go. The coaxium sipper. What are they thinking here? What are we doing? There's the inside. Coaxium sipper.
Handle with care. Yeah, you can get the alcoholic blue milk to put it in there, make your trip a little bit more interesting, I suppose. That's what you'd have to do.
Is that the only pictures they have? Yeah, I guess so. All right, $25. Get something from a movie that no one's seen, no one cares about. And there it is. It's done.
Hey, go for it.
Way to bomb the opening segment, Jay.
That was a mess.
That was awful.
Yeah, May the 4th. Look, I think anybody wants to go out there and talk about how much they love Star Wars. It's a perfectly fine day to do so. I guess my biggest issue is May the 4th encompasses everything that Disney Star Wars represents. May the 4th has nothing to do with Star Wars. It's not an important day in Star Wars history. It's nothing. It's a fucking meme. That's what it is. It has actually no meaning or anything important to Star Wars. The most important thing in Star Wars history on May the 4th was I, Jedi, released in 1998. Great book, by the way, by a great author, but a great character in Corin Horn. But it wasn't until like the early 2010s that there was this push to make May the 4th Star Wars Day as opposed to just a meme. And Disney said, you know what? Let's do it. It's a corporatized, hollow, soulless day. That's what May the 4th is. For decades and decades, May 25th, even officially Star Wars Day on the fucking calendar in Los Angeles since like the 90s. I think maybe since 1990, maybe even before. May 25th. And the reason that May 25th has meaning is because that's when Star Wars was released. That's why it was Star Wars Day, and that's why it was important. And if you want to go out and talk about how much you love Star Wars on May the 4th, I think it's fine. It's sad that has become the norm, and that Disney has successfully brainwashed people into supporting a meme instead of something that matters, which is kind of wild. Yeah, everybody.
What did you think of Trump's May the 4th? The White House post for May the 4th. Did you see this or no?
Yeah, of course I did.
So the debate is that was actually supposed to be an orange lightsaber, and it just didn't. It came out a little red.
Yeah, somehow I don't think that the person making this, using this AI like Trump image that tweeted this out, I don't think they know about all the differences and what an orange lightsaber means versus a red lightsaber. I think it's red because it's badass. But
even though in the tweet it says to stop the Sith.
Yes.
Oh,
I know.
Make memes great again. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I know it's AI. It's crazy. It's not an actual real photo.
What?
Trump, yeah, I know. It's wild. It's wild. Leaked photo from Trump's. That was Trump's Halloween costume, actually. But yeah, we got it there.
You want to see something really funny before we continue, and I'll be done. Here was this was one of the community notes on that I need to if you want to vote. This is not Trump. Trump is fat. So what happens when you're like, I'm a community note officiator. Don't ask me how that happened, but that's what's happened. So when you see this, they asked me to go to these things, which whoever else has won, and then you rate the ones that you feel bring the proper evidence and knowledge, right? So there's a lot of them that are just trolling and things like that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What a mess. What
I'm
an
the community
absolute
note
mess.
guy for Twitter, so watch out.
They got their top men on it. Jay is official community noter. So
that's right. Only their top people. I don't know how I fell into that, but I filled out something and they're like, hey, congratulations. We like your stuff.
Chunk the Punk for $25. Last of Us down below 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and will probably continue to drop after last night's Les Fest. Also ordered one G&G shirt from Teespring, but got two somehow. So here's some cash for the mix-up. Hail the 199. Well, thank you, Chunk the Punk. Glad you got two shirts out there. And yeah, it's so shocking that The Last of Us Season 2 is going through exactly the same situation that The Last of Us 2, the game, did. It's so weird. It's almost like two completely different audiences have reacted the exact same way to a terrible story decision. It's strange, isn't it? How wild.
Very.
Brock, remember for 23 months, remember to stay hydrated. Drink water. I'm drinking water right here, Brock.
I got water right here.
I'm drinking water. Thank you for the reminder. Alex McCarthy, S tier RK3PO. Hey. Enter code RK Outpost or Drunk 3PO. Yes, you can. Go check out Meta PC's link in the description below. You can use code 199. Or you can use code RK Outpost or Drunk 3PO.
Yeah.
Whichever you prefer, whichever sounds better, whichever works, you know. Wild Man looking good today, Ryan.
He really likes
you. Wild Man. Always appreciate the motivation from you. Barking. Hey guys, these last few months I've been getting treated for kitty cancer, leukemia, or leucemia. I thought only kids could get it. I'm 34. Like, that's not how you spell leukemia. So I'm guessing leukemia. I don't know if that's a type of cancer or not. And your dailies begin just after chemo. So thanks for making my nausea bearable. Well, that sucks that you're going through cancer and having to get cancer treatment. But this is specifically why we scheduled this now. We heard your doctor called us and let us know, Barking. He's like, look, going to be a little bit down. Those chemo treatments are rough. So if you guys could shift to 11 a.m. Eastern, that'd be perfect. So that's why we did it. We did it for you, Barking. But sorry to hear you're going through that, but hope you're doing okay. Sir Hat, happy Taco Monday. It is kind of Taco Monday because it's Cinco de Mayo. Got any big plans, Jay?
Taco Bell. I think we're going to do some Taco Bell later.
That sounds good.
It is very good.
I might make some tacos here. We'll see. Drink a Mexican beer, I guess. Gonna do you Corona, or a Modelo guy?
All right, Corona first, Modelo second.
I probably prefer Modelo, to be honest.
Modelo's good. Don't get me wrong. Same as I like Dos Equis too. But I don't know, man. I've been drinking Coronas for a long time, so that's my prefer.
Edwin, is my profile picture tough? Me Bamba Clart. Jeremy is. Oh yeah, thanks, Edwin. Dr. Manzer for 2. Fortnite, the reason you changing today's movie?
No, we're not changing. We are going to do The Lost Boys and Revenge of the Sith. So tonight on the Monday Hangover, we're going to do a double feature. I figured we missed an opportunity to catch maybe an algorithm or something. So
yeah, you're going to do it a week later?
We're going to do both in the same night. First hour will be Revenge of the Sith. Second hour will be The Lost Boys. So it'll be our first double feature. Instead of doing a tier list.
Matt Walsh is going to join the stream.
Yeah. We'll get his take.
Barking, my treatment's going well, thankfully. I'm going to make a USA trip to celebrate for sure. Too bad NYC went to crap. Last time I was in New York, there was garbage everywhere and it smelled like piss. So that's the NYC experience. Bert, I boycotted Thunderbolts this weekend because Disney decided to remove Revenge of the Sith from movie theaters after just 1 week before May the 4th. Well, look, Bert, I respect the decision. It was not like they were like, wow, it's doing too well. They always had just planned it for a week release. I think people should be more up in arms that they released it when they did, as opposed to release it, I don't know, when the movie fucking came out. Right? Because May 19th, I believe. May 19th, if I'm remembering correctly. We're very close to that. Close to May, because they wanted it in theaters for May 25th. So I believe it was May 19th when Revenge of the Sith came out. I could be off a day or two. But do you know why they didn't want to release it on that weekend? Because Lilo and Stitch is coming out. So maybe that's why people should be upset. Not because of a fake holiday. Crispy Noken, member for 24 months. Happy Cinco de Mayo and Revenge of the 5th. I've been busy with work since shifting to the morning shift, but I'm still around. Ale and take a swig. Take a swig. Here we go. Jay's got his Krispy Kreme.
I still got the price sticker on the bottom.
There you go.
What did I pay for that?
Got to put it through the wash once, you know.
Yeah,
Kalyoth for 2. Is that a copium sipper? Good for Thunderbolts?
Copium.
There's been a lot of people huffing some copium over the Thunderbolts. There's no doubt about that. I don't know if we have the official numbers. We have the estimates, though. So we can go through this. Jay, we were told for the Thunderbolts in the weeks leading up to this, from all the people that got the early access, this is a return to form. It is just the best Marvel movie since Endgame, and it is going to do incredible things. And depending on where you go to look at what happened this weekend, you might be tricked, just like the same dumb fucks were over and over again by Thunderbolts, or not by Thunderbolts, by Captain America Brave New World opening weekend, when you got gaslit to thinking that was good, even though it wasn't a good opening for that movie. Very same people are trying to gaslight you about this. Thunderbolts assembles a mighty start at the box office. Reality? Thunderbolts had a miserable opening weekend. Maybe it's because all the characters are depressed. Thunderbolts bombs with $76 million box office. Second worst MCU opening. Now, that's if you factor in inflation, that even the things that it just barely creeped over, like Shang-Chi or Eternals, if you factor in inflation, it actually performed worse than those. $76 million. To put all of this in perspective, Jay, 3 months ago, Captain Black America, Brave New World. Oh, it set the box office on fire in its opening weekend. It was amazing. All the haters are blown out of the water with an $89 million 3-day domestic opening. That's 13 million more than Thunderbolts got, but that wasn't good either. Just like we talked about 3 months ago, the mainstream media, the access media was spinning. They were lying. And what happened with Brave New World ended up being a massive failure for Marvel. Well, now we're seeing what we have here. $76 million 3-day opening weekend. And I like how this is phrased. It beats the industry's $70 to $75 million projections. Did you know why? Because in the weeks leading up to it, it was projected 80 to 90 million. And then right before it came out, when tracking was worse than they thought, it got downgraded to between 70 and 75. So really, it's less than people thought it would make just a few weeks ago. But you can spin that by saying, hey, guys, it beat industry expectations. But you can't say the same thing for overseas. Overseas, Thunderbolts came in below the expectations with an $86.1 million 5-day international opening. Allied to the $76 million 3-day weekend, Florence Pugh, with a $180 million price tag, not including marketing, hits $162.1 million. That is right on par, almost exactly with Eternals. And it's almost $20 million less than Captain America 4 Brave New World. This is, to be honest, pretty much what we expected. I don't know who in this group or what in the marketing was going to really get people's attention. Now, I said it before. I think this movie's better than Brave New World. I wouldn't go so far to say it's a good movie, guys. I highly recommend it. It's meh. It's very meh, very middle of the road. I think they deal with some interesting concepts. I think there's some good moments, like Yelena and Red Guardian talking together, and when they all get to be little heroes in their own separate ways. I think the ending is incredibly weak and sends the wrong message. But overall, it's a better experience than Brave New World. But no one's hyped or excited for these movies anymore.
No, not even close. And what I think they're trying to do is spin it with the 2025 box office, where it's like they use those words like biggest opening of the year. What's the first opening of the year for Marvel films? So they're just trying any which way to get a positive headline to get people to watch these films and accept that these are this is movie standards. Like this is the type of movie that will be a standard. So you might as well get used to it and enjoy mediocrity at its finest. That because like, yeah, the spin is crazy on these. The way they reword this stuff to try to make it seem like it's dominating. And then the funny thing is, are the little Marvel accounts, the MCU accounts on Twitter or X, excuse me, that have like, they have like Iron Man as their profile picture. And they're like, oh, the chuds are mad because this movie's actually doing good. They don't know how to do math. So they need one of these things. That's what I have. An Acubus. So there it is.
Can you say that again?
An Acubus.
Thank you.
It's an inside joke.
And yeah, that's when you look at this. Look, this is what they've told us it costs, and I can maybe buy that this one's actually $180 million, more so than Captain America: Brave New World, which we knew had to do a bunch of reshoots and stuff like that. But let's take them at their word and say it's a $180 million budget.
Yeah,
maybe a little skeptical, but let's take their word at it. And $100 million marketing. So you have $280 million wrapped up in this. That means that this movie needs to make somewhere between $560 million at a minimum and probably $600 realistically to break even. That's what it is, because you only get around half of the actual number that gets spent at the box office. That's all the studio gets to keep. You don't get to keep all of it. Just because it hit 162 million at the worldwide box office doesn't mean that Disney gets 162 million. That's what a lot of these dumb fucking retards have no comprehension of.
Movie theaters got to make money too.
Yeah. The studio gets to keep a little over half of the money that is made at domestic theaters and a little over 40% of the money at international theaters, much less from China, but that's an outlier. So an easy rule of thumb is just around half, right? You got $280 million wrapped up in this. You need $560 million bare minimum at the box office for this to break even. Look, I personally think that this movie will have a better hold than Captain America: Brave New World. But with the start like this and the lack of interest and the Saturday and Sunday numbers, this movie might perform similar to Captain America, where it's a little over 400 million, 410, 415 million by the end of its run. But it's not good. It's another Marvel failure. It's another Marvel financial loss. That's what this is, unless we have some historic hold for it, right? But in all likelihood, that's what we're talking about, which is why, like, things like this, a mighty start at the box office, globally on par with Eternals, $20 million less than Brave New World. This is what we saw. Jay, we saw this fucking 3 months ago. These same goddamn retards were trying to tell you that Captain America: Brave New World was off to a great start at the box office, when it wasn't, if you actually look at the context. And then 3 weeks later, they're all saying, what happened to Captain America: Brave New World? What's going on with Marvel? Why is this happening? It's the same gaslighting shit over and over again. And it works. When all of these headlines are the same from all these different places, and then you actually look at these numbers and break it down, you'll have idiots in the comments section, idiots in the stream that are saying, well, it made 76 million. I was told that that's a good thing. Yeah, I'm sure you were, because you have no possibility of actually thinking for yourself sometimes. But the truth is, when you look at these numbers and you look at it in context and you factor in what this movie needs to do and how MCU movies have performed over the last couple of years, it's written right on the wall that Thunderbolts, again, is another box office disappointment for Marvel.
It's such a weird rabbit hole when you see these giant movie productions and then you realize that they actually own percentages of the media and they actually have people on salary that write some of these articles, and like you just keep digging where it's all like we've all got to defend for ourselves. If not, we've got nothing left, So hey, take care of me, I'll take care of you. We got to take care of each other. But then at the end of the day, the numbers, you just can't escape the facts, man. You just can't escape. And I think the funniest spin that you ever spoke about, we did this, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, was the fact where they said that they were making money because they sold it to a streaming service, where it was like Disney made money off this movie because the streaming service paid, but it's like you put it on your own streaming service. So how does that work? So it's just like this whole shuffling effect of, we're going to do everything in our power to let people know that we still run a wonderful movie studio, because we don't want people to sell off all our stock and keep us at a top tier company. Crazy.
Yeah, it's one thing. Look, because there are no more Blu-ray sales. There are no more DVD sales that a lot of these companies used to be able to rely on post-theatrical release. I mean, you look at some of the insane numbers for DVD sales for some of these MCU movies. It's crazy how much money they made after the theater just from Blu-rays and DVDs. That's not happening anymore. And then, of course, what did they used to do? They used to sell it to Netflix. Used to, for tens of millions of dollars, sell the rights for 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever the deal might be, for Netflix to have it. Well, now they wanted to start their own streaming service. So what did they do? Hey, guys, Thor: Love and Thunder, even though this thing lost money at the box office, it actually was profitable. Why? Because Disney paid Disney $100 million for the rights to stream the Disney content. So the same studio that put in the money to produce it, that own it, they paid themselves $100 million. They took it out of one pocket and put it into the other to pretend like that movie broke even, and they just take the loss on Disney Plus, right? That's how they spin some of this shit.
Yeah.
And you've already seen people doing everything they can. We saw them try to spin Captain Black America. It didn't work. And now we're seeing them try to spin this. Now, as I said, I don't think that this is a bad movie.
Right.
I think it's very middle of the road. I think there's some moments in it that they would have capitalized on. Ultimately, it's a movie that thinks it's way more deep than it actually is. And it's actually extraordinarily shallow. And maybe if they had taken the time to dig in and go deep, maybe you could have seen something really cool come out of it. But maybe they also didn't think they could do that with this audience in mind. Ultimately, people weren't getting excited for the second Black Widow, Red Guardian, U.S. Agent, Ghost. They weren't excited about seeing these characters. And that's what we've now seen at the box office.
Didn't we have a quote from Feige himself where he was like, watching Marvel movies is like having to do homework? He's like, I felt like I had to do homework to keep up with these films. And so and that's this thing that we have been preaching for such a long time. It's like, if you're making the audience do homework to try to understand these characters, U.S. Agent, if you didn't watch Bucky and the Winter Soldier, whatever that, I don't even remember what the name of that series was on Disney Plus, because I don't care. But if you didn't watch that, you won't know who this character is and why he's important. If you don't watch this show, you won't know who this is. So if they're doing this to the audience, then yeah, people are going to walk away, because it's like, I want my freaking hot dog. I want my cheese nachos. I want my Twizzlers, maybe Junior Mints. I want to sit there. I want to plop down for 2 hours and forget about everything that's going on in the world. I want to laugh and cry and kiss 2 hours goodbye, but leave entertained, and then go back to whatever life I have. That's what people want to do when they go to the movies.
You might cry in this movie, so
maybe,
I don't know. You
might
cry in this movie.
That's the thing. It's like if you're forcing people to do homework, it's like, well, I don't want to do homework. My life is busy as it is. Like I already got other work to do. I'm not doing MCU homework to try to keep up with these characters. Sorry, you lost me. I'm done.
In that entire article, by the way, about Kevin Feige and talking about Marvel homework and stuff, that is a massive spin job from Kevin Feige's camp to shift the blame for Marvel's failures away from him and onto the Disney heads. That's what that is. And we can go through that a little bit. And yeah, it's so funny to hear Kevin Feige saying the same thing that fans have been saying for 4 years now. Yeah. This feels like homework instead of entertainment. And there are a multitude of things that go into that. They've been producing way too much shit and shoveling shit out. Now, if all of these things, if these 11 Disney Plus series or whatever the hell that you've made, if they were all good to great quality, would it really feel like homework, or would people be enjoying doing that and enjoying the lead up and enjoying the story? I think we know the answer to that question. It's only when you're prioritizing these characters and these stories that are poorly done and no one gives a fuck about that it feels like homework. Because that's effectively what it is. But that Feige thing is, let me see if I can find it actually, because I do have it pulled up. Kevin Feige recently, he didn't come out and say it, but Kevin Feige's camp came out with some things, and we heard things from inside Kevin Feige's inner circle, all this stuff. And really what this is, even though some of the headlines coming out of it are, Kevin Feige admits there's a problem with Marvel, and Kevin Feige admits that they've gone the wrong direction. What this really is a spin job to take the heat off Kevin Feige and instead point the blame directly at Bob Iger or Bob Chapek or whoever you want, the heads of Disney. Disney wanted more from Marvel. Now it wants less. The superhero studio is cutting back TV production and fixing its film slate after fans lost the plot. No new fans club. Major MCU report details what went wrong at Marvel Studios in the early 2020s and how Kevin Feige is getting the franchise back on track. So let's go through what Kevin Feige is putting out there. Kevin Feige criticized the MCU for being too inaccessible to audiences who have not been keeping up with the story for years. During an era in which the multiverse saga had more releases in 4 years than the Infinity Saga did in 11, the current on-screen Marvel universe is a lot, sometimes too much, to handle for those who haven't watched the majority of recent projects. Marvel's top executive is currently leading an internal overhaul of the MCU, making fewer TV shows and standalone stories that don't require extensive knowledge of the franchise's history. Feige recently told colleagues watching all the MCU's new TV shows and movies was starting to feel more like homework than entertainment. This was partially in an effort to placate Disney, which depended on Marvel to help boost Disney Plus subscribers and maintain a strong, steady output of the interconnected superhero stories on a streaming service. This led to not only viewers feeling overwhelmed, but Feige and his team having their resources stretched thin, which then diluted the quality of many recent MCU releases. Currently, Marvel and its top execs going through overhaul, blah, blah, blah. Additionally, a former Marvel employee touched on Disney's recent strategy of populating Disney Plus, which is with as much content as possible. The strategy became just expansion, expansion, expansion. Feige reportedly told industry colleagues he went along with that plan because of his ambitions to get new stories out and to be an excellent corporate citizen. So he did what Disney wanted him to do because they were asking and demanding Disney Plus content. They rushed this stuff out. They forced this stuff out, and Feige had to go along with it, even though he had concerns about it. But he had to be a good employee for Disney. Now he's trying to fix things. You see how all of this is phrased? And why this is clearly like fault, a spin job, damage control for Kevin Feige to shift the blame on everyone else.
It's what they do best, is shift the blame. Yeah, I've been saying that forever. It's never my fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's not my fault that you don't like the film. It's somebody else's fault. It's this person. It's white people. It's that. It's whatever. It's just like it's a constant shift of blame, saying I'm the good guy here. These people are the bad guys, and they're the reason why. The issue with these Disney Plus Marvel shows is they don't have a shelf life, because once the movies come out and progress the character, I guess there's really no reason to go back and watch, even if you were somewhat interested, because you've already know what's going on. The thing with Netflix makes movies that you could go back and watch later, that have a certain shelf life to them. These were just kind of like fill in the void if you're missing some Marvel stuff while you're waiting on the next film to come out. So it was a stupid thing to do on their part, thinking that making a couple shows on Disney Plus would drive subscribers over there. And I mean, honestly, look what happened to Daredevil on Disney Plus. That thing just that thing is fell off the map. It's like I don't know what happened. I didn't watch a single episode. I was waiting because I thought they were going to wreck the Punisher. But apparently the episode with the Punisher and Daredevil talking outside was the best episode, according to people on social media. But that show just fell off. And they're doing a season 2, which is not turning the needle and getting people excited about the character, about Marvel, or about subscribing to Disney Plus. The people over there should be fired and should be replaced. If this is how you run a company, by spending tons of money with absolutely no or nothing to show for it, you usually get released from your job. That's all.
Yeah, and ultimately, there's a couple reasons. Like, it's not just one thing, not just the other thing. There's a couple reasons why all this is happening. However, the biggest problem are the movies that you're putting out are fucking shit. The TV shows you're putting out are fucking shit, and people aren't interested.
That's the biggest problem.
I do think, right, even in a perfect world where they're just putting out 8s, 9s, and 10s out of 10s, and if they were doing the same volume, I do think you'd still have some level of diminishing returns just because how overwhelming it is. The fact that it's like phase 5 or phase 4 is like 60 hours of content or something like that compared to some of these past ones for people to follow along with. But the fatigue wouldn't be as bad, and it wouldn't be as diminishing returns as we have if the product was actually good. So this is all an effort for Kevin Feige, in my opinion. He's saying now the same things that fans have been saying for 3 years. He's echoing our talking points, and I think it's an effort to deflect blame from him and say, the reason all this shit went to shit, it's definitely Bob Iger's fault, guys.
So absolutely.
We got Jeremy from the Quartering over on the Rumble side for $20. Shout out to Quartering with a Rumble rant.
Wow.
Marvel is dead and Jay is bald.
Jeremy, I'm not bald.
It's not.
Quartering always calls me out, man. He always calls me out.
When someone wears a hat all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Go right there.
I try to mix it up because you don't wear a hat, so I was like, let's mix it up, But I could go hatless all week.
So you sometimes mix it up because I don't wear a hat?
No, I wear a hat just so we don't look alike.
We are both wearing black shirts today.
That's what I'm saying. I got the chain gang on though,
I don't got my chain.
I was trying to be different.
I don't got my chain. Switzerland play it for $1. Shout out to Kanye. Ye sucked his cousin's dick west. His chance to become Pope increased with every day. Thank you, Switzerland play it over on the Rumble side. Yeah. Interesting theory. All right, where were we? I left off right here. Mad Me for $5. What do you call a potato that has turned to the dark side? Darth Tater.
Darth Tater.
Thanks, Mad Me. AB, how much can you bench?
I haven't done that in a while. One time I was close to 300, like 305, back in my younger days, but man, I don't know now.
That's wild. I mean, for me right now, if I max out, I can probably get up 180, 185 a couple times. But I mean, I'm way 165 right now, so I feel okay about that. But not breaking into 200 for me, at least not at my body weight right now. Nandy O for 199. I mean, who could have predicted Last of Us 2 season 2 decline? I know, right? Who could have possibly imagined that would happen? Eddie Brock for 249. You see JK's reaction to Black Snape casting? I did, and maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. We got a big topic to get into, which is the Trump.
Really, tariff. We got a reaction from JK finally.
Kind of. So it was in response to people saying that Black Snape should be fired for signing the trans rights thing. She put out one tweet that said, "I don't have the power to fire somebody, nor would I fire. I don't have the power to fire someone from the cast." And then she said, "Nor would I, based on their just a difference of opinion. I wouldn't fire someone over a difference of opinion, even if I could." But the first statement says, "I don't have the power to fire somebody." which is interesting. That's the only thing she said. It had nothing to do with the casting, just the all the articles saying that she should fire him or that she will fire him or whatever. Says, I don't have the power to fire someone. Yellow Flash 2 for 2. Try a Foster's. It's the national beer of Australia. Foster's is Australian for beer.
One time at Universal Studios, I did try a large Foster's, and I had rot gut the rest of the day. It was rough, man. I never had that. I never drank that beer ever again after that. I was live on Park Hopping. I would never forget. I walked past the dinosaur. There's a little dinosaur bar area, and they served a big can of Foster's. And someone was like, you should try it, Jay. You should try it. Sure enough, I freaking bought that can of Foster. It was awful. Never again. Ever.
Jedi. Today's Cinco de Mayo, and it's my birthday. Hail the 199, and thanks for starting my afternoon off right.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
May the 5th be with you.
You want to try that again?
Pretty gay. I don't.
Yeah, you want to try it
Happy
again?
Happy birthday.
Okay, there you go. 85 fame for 2 if you're riding in your Chevy and you feel something heavy.
Diarrhea.
Some people think there's pain. You just sit and let it drain.
Diarrhea. If you're climbing up a ladder and you feel some splatter. Sorry.
Hammerlord seen New Avengers and people claped at the end. I think you mean clapped. Though I thought it was okay. I give it a 68% on critic list. Didn't think it was clap worthy. I don't know why anyone would clap after it, but especially after that ending. Maybe it was after the, and they admitted that the post-credit scene, Jay, was only directed 4 weeks ago. It was filmed 4 weeks ago, directed by the Russo brothers, basically on the set of Doomsday.
I believe it.
Thunderbolts was competing with The Weeknd and lost. MJ UK. Yes, Revenge of the Sith released May 19th, 2025. Special day for me as I moved from US to New Zealand on the 18th and arrived on the 20th. Watched it in New Zealand first thing. Very cool. Very cool. The King's Court. Diddy trial is in jury selection today. Shit's coming.
Yo, King's Court is a brand new channel. It's a law tube. He wears a robe, like a judge robe. It's freaking awesome. He barely has 100 subs, but he's getting there.
The Diddy thing is not going to be televised though, right?
Good friend of me and Ryan.
Yeah, King's Advisors is cool. He's got his new channel there. It's not going to be televised though, is it?
I have no idea.
Because I guess, is it a state case or a federal case?
If you're asking me personally, it's probably the wrong person.
I'm asking the wrong person.
I know nothing about the Diddy files except for that guy loves baby lotion. That's all I know is that guy had a ton of baby lotion everywhere. So
Greedy Graffiti. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Ryan, good day for you to try a shot of Epsilon Tequila. Jay, good luck on that fast. Have you started it yet?
Next month. I'm going to do it during the week so Ryan could watch me fall into the pit of hell. So I think I'm starting Monday next week. 4 days of water, 5th day bone broth. See what happens.
Grabthar's hammer for $10 over on Locals for some boozy blue milk for Ryan. Pushing for a sequel to The Rock. Avoid the foreign film Tariff. You could have a Trump cameo. Who'd you cast as leads? Nick Cage is 61. How do you do a sequel to The Rock, though? We don't need a sequel.
The Rock is The Rock a James Bond film?
No, not technically. Obviously. But it's fucking awesome. And James Bond's in it. But it's not a James Bond movie. Brian Grumps. Jay knows all about shifting blame. Hashtag justice for poo.
Hey, man. Come on.
Snacks for 2. When are we getting a Rippaverse cinematic universe? I have no idea.
You could ask Rippa on Tuesday night, on the Tuesday night's main event.
There you go. Zero, best duo on Daily. Total Munjay takeover.
Yo, thank you. I love Zero. Zero's such a good dude. Holy Christmas cakes.
And we just got...
My voice cracked right in the middle of that.
Holy Christmas cakes. $199 super chat. A proper 199. Is that what they're called? From Alec Baldwin's finger. $200. So that's a lot of money. He didn't say a damn thing.
So they apparently when people super chat 199, you're supposed to show a Sydney Sweeney clip that's in our clips. I don't know which one.
It was a Cobra Cast thing or something.
They do it on Tuesday night as well.
Oh yeah, well, I don't watch that show either.
Yeah.
Hold on, this one. I think I found it. Is it this one?
I'm so happy you love the first drop of my collection of Frankie's bikinis. We have more dreamy pieces coming our way, so tap to sign up for early access so you can get more information.
Works for me.
One. I don't know which one we're supposed to do.
We'll just play both.
We'll play both. We'll make sure Alec Baldwin's finger gets his money's worth. Thank you, Alec Baldwin's finger. He don't miss, except at the box office. Big Papa. Hey, Jay, check out the new pirate MMO game coming out called Crosswind.
I've heard about it. I actually am the kind of person that waits and let people play it, and then they'll let me know, like, is it worth it or not? So
Boba Fett for $199. Only Last of Us can make me turn off a lesbian scene. What, not Andor? Bro, Bella Ramsey is so goddamn ugly. Like, it just does not make any sense that Isabella Merced, who plays her girlfriend in it, would be with that, like, goblin. You can't make me believe it. Rafael Valenzuela for $2. Pacifico is best Mex beer.
I think I've had one before.
I didn't know it's Mexican. I thought it was made in California. The Trillist. Diddy loves baby oil and rubber thangs. Jay?
He sure does. He's probably loving it. If he really does like that stuff, he's probably loving it in jail.
Probably having a great time. He's DeBella DeBall. All right. Hey, we gotta get into the big story that dropped yesterday.
Yeah.
I can actually find, why is it not? There it is. Now it's popping up for me. We got to talk about Trump and Hollywood. We've witnessed over the last several years the destruction of modern day Hollywood and the entertainment industry, Jay. And of course, you can point to a variety of reasons for them continuing to shove propaganda in these movies that people are not interested in, to the insane rising costs of these productions that's getting completely out of control, to the point where so many of these studios, it's cheaper. Even if they got a studio in their backyard, it's cheaper for them to go to another country, to go to the UK, to go to Ireland, to go somewhere else, so they get a tax break while filming it because it ends up being cheaper that way. And along the way, when you've had all these writer strikes and actor strikes and the set workers, all these people that went on strike at very inopportune times when the industry was struggling anyway, it's all just ended up in Hollywood being a ghost town, people losing a ton of their jobs. And we knew that Donald Trump wanted to do something. He wanted to make Hollywood great again. He wanted people to come back. And a lot of us, myself included, felt that that was going to happen by providing some of those same incentives for filming that a lot of these countries are performing. Apparently, that is not the case because Trump dropped a bomb on Truth Social yesterday, and it has a lot of Hollywood studios panicking. We've seen their price stock even dip a little bit as investors are very worried about this news. Trump says he's instituting a 100% tariff on films produced outside of the U.S. because the movie industry in America is dying. President posted that Hollywood and other areas are being devastated due to a concentrated effort by other nations, which constitutes a national security threat. And here's the post in full. The movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the U.S. Hollywood and many other areas within the U.S. are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations, therefore a national security threat. It is, in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I'm authorized the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again. There's a lot of things to talk about here.
Yes.
One, I'll say this. It doesn't really matter if these studios are making movies in the UK or they're making movies somewhere else. Like, the propaganda, the worst of it is coming from Hollywood. Doesn't matter if they're filming here or somewhere else. Just put in the propaganda and the messaging.
Yes.
I also don't know if this means just movies, straight up movies. Does this mean all streaming series? Does this mean all TV shows? Like, what exactly does this mean? When exactly will it be instituted? We don't know. This is in order to begin that process. But just right now, a handful of the big productions that are currently ongoing. Avengers Doomsday, which is on pace probably to have a $350, potentially over $400 million budget, if not higher, is being made in the UK.
Yep.
Avatar 4 is being made, I think, in New Zealand right now. The Odyssey is filming overseas. Supergirl's filming overseas. This is just a handful of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things that are being filmed. But just take these Disney movies, the Marvel movies, 100% tariff. What do you do? If you're Disney and this comes out, what do you do when you're starting to ramp up production, but it might cost you now twice as much as you expected?
Yeah, that's the thing is I'm curious to see what if a movie has a $300 million, if it costs them $300 million to make in London, because a lot of the Marvel and Lucasfilm have shifted their studios overseas. Like, does that make it now a $600 million movie? Does it make it a, $750? How does that work? Coming back. So yeah, there's a lot of questions. And then we got to get into like television shows. How will that deal with foreign films coming over that that actually do well?
Industry.
Yeah. So
a lot of people feel like and I don't necessarily count myself as one of those. I've seen some good ones, seen some ones I don't care about. I don't really care about anime, as I've famously said. However, there's a lot of people who feel like some of the best entertainment we're getting right now is coming out of Japan and South Korea and stuff like that. How does it affect that? How does it affect the indie movie circuit? There's so many questions with this, and we don't have the answers. We don't know how this is going to be instituted. Is this just another move by Trump to make a splash, and then in reality get them to cave and try to get these states to cave to some sort of tax reduction or incentive to have people there? I don't know. I know that there's a lot of on-the-line workers in America, in Hollywood, in California, that have nothing to do with writing these shit shows. They're not actors. They're not writers. They're not producers. They're people who are holding microphones. They're cameramen. They're on-the-line workers. They're people who have lost their jobs because Hollywood has destroyed itself with the terrible movies they're making. As a result, they need to cut costs any way they can. As a result, they're moving them internationally to cut costs. And a lot of those people have been out of jobs forever.
That's what so
there's some people that are very excited about that hope it will force it back, even with the, insane costs.
That's when I first saw this, my first thought was this is about jobs and bringing more jobs back into America that are going out. So he's just treating everything. Also, you got to believe there's some small little, and this is just my opinion, personal thing going on here with Donald Trump and all the people in Hollywood that have constantly come out and trashed his name and done all these things. You got to believe there's just a little something in there where he's just like, oh, I'll show them. I'll show them. Just a little. That's my opinion. Could be way off from the truth, but that's what I think. I think it has a lot to do with jobs and, things like that. So he probably doesn't watch a lot of the movies that come out of Hollywood. I've never heard him talk about anything that came out of Hollywood except for the show The Apprentice. It's the only one I've ever really seen him really go after. And like when Arnold Schwarzenegger did The Apprentice, he trashed Arnold for like the ratings suck. Your views, your show is terrible. So,
yeah. And so in response, these studios, and look, I have no sympathy for any of these Hollywood studios that have, quite frankly, destroyed themselves, but it puts them in this position now where, hey, like they are bloated, they're overspending. They're also making dog shit, right? I don't know how this curbs the dog shit, but they're in these positions where they've spent a fuck ton of money invested in building studios overseas, and they're actively filming overseas to get the benefit of the 25% discount that you get for filming in the UK. So now do you pack everything up and you move back here? Do you start trying to do more stuff in here, even though there will be an increased cost of doing it here, but now it won't be as exorbitant as doing it overseas? I have no idea how this is all going to play out. But it is like an earth-shattering thing in the entertainment industry to have this announced and for this to come out.
I did see people having a debate on social media about this yesterday too. Basically saying what this could do for Hollywood is slow down like the cookie cutter type movies, and it will force them to focus on good films where a lot of their money is going to, that they can't spread it around like we see today, where it's just superhero movie coming out every month, where most of them nowadays are bombing. Like that, those days from the first 3 phases are long gone. So maybe it'll make them focus more on smaller budget, better product films to try to, who knows? But again, at the end of the day, who knows? A lot of stuff Trump throws out there, it could be just like you said, a threat. Like, guess what's coming if you don't change your tune, But we'll see. I guess we'll see.
That's like I said, and I felt like, look, and he established a little, basically a Hollywood envoy for him to advise him on like how to get back in and everything. I feel like a lot of what they were saying was, hey, we got to start convincing these states and maybe this country to offer some of the same incentives for filming that we do over there. So we bring them back. They don't have to travel. They don't have to do that. We make it less expensive for them to make them here. And we give all these people who have been out of jobs. That is the one thing that this will have an impact on. And the one thing that's a little bit bulletproof from one certain direction is, look, we're going to prioritize and giving Americans jobs, line workers for these movies, the hundreds of crew people that exist and are needed to make these movies run. We're going to make sure that they have jobs before everybody else in foreign countries. I have no idea how this is all going to play out, though. No idea.
No, me either.
But it is big news. Big news for sure. Meister Miko says, come on, Ryan, tell the quarter and all you said about the Brewers and Chicago Cubs game. Well, I don't know if Jeremy's still here, but I did say it was glorious to see all of the Chicago Cubs fans take over the Brewers stadium the other day. Very sad the Brewers can't buy their own tickets, but, we know there's not as big of a demand for those as there are at Wrigley. So Cubs fans go up, they travel, take in a game, take over the stadium. It's great to see. It's great to see. Narrowboat Nige, sorry. There are a lot of streaming shows, yes, even our sphere, that become repetitive. Daily still has it, making it the Fellowship's best show.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, we talk about the news of the day. So
yeah,
every once in a while it might be the same thing, like Snow White box office, maybe for a little stretch, but we talk about what's relevant right now. That's what we try to do anyway. Knee pain. In 2013, VFX artists were campaigning for countervailing duties, which are tariffs on imported goods to offset subsidies made to produce the goods. Hey, there you go.
What's up, Knee Pain? Knee Pain wants to fast with me Monday through Friday. Man, I don't want anyone to do this with me. I don't want anyone to drop over, pass out, blame me for it.
Orangutan, member for 23 months. Happy sinking of the mayonnaise. It's my birth month, so let's rage. I'll be hitting the Jesus year in about 20 days. Hail chat in the 199.
Happy birthday.
Rob Cortez, Jay. Have you heard the myth of a Spanish galleon shipwrecked in the Salton Sea?
Actually, I have not. I wish you would have continued with the super chat to explain it to me. The myth of the Spanish galleon shipwreck. Huh. Now I have to Google.
Knee pain for 5. Production companies get the incentives, not the contractors like VFX. It's forced VFX studios to create satellite locations in order to get the work. SBZ, this better not affect anime like Ghibli and kaiju movies. Weebs have suffered enough. And from the merch import tariffs, we can't afford more else. I don't know. Trump raised tariffs on overseas filming to cancel Rings of Power faster. Maybe that's what it is. Next, Trump reopens California Island Resort for illegals.
Oh, you're talking about Alcatraz? The island resort?
At Grok, is this true? Maybe. But there we are. I think we're all caught up. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything over here on Rumble. I think I missed this from Switzerland Play It. I have so hard to agree on that Bella Ramsey take. She's so fucking ugly. It makes me hate a show I'm not watching even more. Also, it's probably a dude. Possibly. Definitely non-binary. Jay, what do you got going on today, buddy?
At 3 o'clock, Park Hoppin' Live returns. We missed last week because my internet went out, and I didn't know when it was coming back on. But we're back, and we're going over summer ticket pricings and different things like that. Join me, Krista Nova, and who else might show up as we do that at 3 p.m. on the Park Hoppin' channel, Geeks and Gamers Park Hoppin' channel. And then at 6 is the Monday Hangover double feature, Revenge of the Sith and The Lost Boys. 2 hours. We're going to cram it all in. So come and hang out. Then I'm going to go sleep till the next day.
There you go. Somebody else mentioned, I saw someone in the chat said Tom Cruise films almost all of his movies overseas. And I'll also say this. What about for people who they're not necessarily filming in places for the tax centers or whatever, but what if like this is a film that's taking place in Europe, right? Like,
yeah,
what
like
if a film
a
is
documentary
taking place in London? Right. What if it's a film where the landscape and the architecture of old castles and shit like that, where like the story itself kind of necessitates filming on location in those places? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what any of this means, to be honest.
You know what it means is all the studios are now going to invest a ton of money into AI, and that's all we're going to see in the next 5 years, a bunch of AI crap. And then what they'll do is they'll come out and blame Trump. Well, this is all we can do. Enjoy the AI slop.
Yeah. All right. That's it for us. Thanks, everybody. Hope everyone has a great Monday. Off to a good start. Go eat some fucking tacos tonight. Yes. Drink some tequila. And we'll talk to all of you guys tomorrow. Bye.